My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and this is the second tape, and I'm titling this, "And They Preach the Gospel." I'm a pawn and a hostage. So this would be number two. I want to finish I was reading the Larry Flint because I wrote about mind control, and it was, he was shot, the man that was programmed to shoot Flint, and his attorney in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And you didn't hear really any of the truth. I've been told by an NBC reporter, cameraman, years ago when I first came to Roanoke, or not too long after then, that they had taken photos of Mr. Flint when he was gunned down outside Lawrenceville courthouse, and that a magnum was used on him, and that there's no way, they didn't think there was any way that he could live since his guts, were splattered all over the sidewalk. If anything, he tried to tell the truth about government corruption. My God, they don't want the truth. People love their senators, congressmen, their president. They don't care what crimes they've committed. They love doctors, no matter what crimes they've committed, unless it's pasted before them. In the media, they don't believe anything till the corrupt media tells something, then they believe it. It's controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, who kidnapped me, by the way, with Elizabeth's father, and then she's continued it. She's living terrific. She's part of the New World Order. She's living good, her and her brood, off of my money in hell and off the British's lives and money in hell. So I want to finish this on Larry Flint, because the Murphy has to do with a lot of mind control murders. The guy that shot Flint was programmed, the man, and killed his attorney, Flint's attorney, in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I did the book in Marietta, Georgia, about 45 miles from Lawrenceville, at the most, I guess. But anyway, I'll finish reading it. He says, here, above all, Peggy Childers knows how corrupt our political system is, especially those rotten assholes in Georgia who were responsible for my shooting on March the 6th of 78. He mentions Al Burroughs, Larry McDonald, and State Senator Thomas Murphy, and Culver Kid, better known, as cover-up kid. The problem here is he's put some codes, which mean a lot to me. Like Larry McDonald was one of the doctors I wrote about. He was a congressman, and I wrote about mind control. And Warren and Rosina Matthews were forensic pathologists at his hospital. Well, it was run by the McDonald's, Piedmont. Oh boy, did a lot happen there. The shooting of Gene Srokerman and Christmas Eve, tried to write about all that. But anyway, really, it's an agency that shot him, and he knows that. But Larry McDonald, I don't doubt that he was a part of it. But it's the Murphy in Culver City, Culver as in Culver City, and Murphy as in Murphy's Law. And if anything can go wrong, it will. Now then, Murphy, I don't know, I've turned this over all these years when I had been given antifreeze and could hardly walk, or then my job shut down. Then I come up here, which I know I was meant to now. My path was laid out 5 years in advance. So the police have told me, and so an FBI agent, Carl Smith, that sounds like his real name, doesn't it, lived at Warren House when I went there, was taken across the state line with antifreeze in me, ended up living in Warren House, and he had the apartment below, and he told me that he had been there 5 years ahead of me. He told me he used to live by me at Heritage Trace. I lived at Heritage Trace, and he lived at Normandy Apartments. So Normandy, there was Normandy Apartments, and I don't doubt he lived there, but the Normandy invasion. And I guess maybe I should get to that. I've put all this on. I can't tell what they've done to me. Most people tune me out, I suppose. And it's like one FBI agent told me in '82 that he faked yawning and said, "You know what they do with what you tell them?" And he yawned and he said, "You bore them. It's not until they find out how it affects them that they care." And then, while still driving a car leased by Larry Flint Hustler, and then I didn't see him again. I had the car, no gas, and no money. I've never seen him again. They sent me this magazine so they knew where I was. But anyway, one of the pumping gas with the at a small convenience store in Grottoes, Virginia, '84 till '85, and Hustler car was parked around back. I was wearing coveralls and pumping gas and oil for winter for people and cooking for that family, the Reinicas, which he was nice to me. Mr. Reinica was nice enough. Anyway, the car was there, and that's when the German diplomat's son, Jens Orings, was, well, you might as well say killed him. He's in prison in Buckingham State Prison of Virginia, up in Dillwyn, Virginia, and Elizabeth Haysom, who was tried for the same crime, it was killing her parents, Nancy and Derek Haysom, over in, going blank. Next door here, my goodness, how can I forget them, where the monument that celebrates all this stuff done by the United States, making heroes out of Bedford, Virginia. The monument that Tom Hanks talks about so much, where they had me living and so grateful, except they were killing me with chemicals in a Section 8 housing owned by Black Reverend Moore out of Washington, North Carolina. So they've got the Queen of England, the real one, in a Section 8 housing, Victoria II, and I'm facing up the mountain where I can see right there, it's not that far from me, and that's the monument, celebrating how brave this country was and how much a friend they were to the British. And I'm watching the British flag fly alongside the American, and they've got me, the Queen of England, down there using chemicals on me. They've done everything in the book. My God, they stole my identity and everything. So anyway, that's the part, if I get off of this for a minute, I wanted to say. Joseph Kennedy was appointed ambassador to England by Roosevelt. The whole bunch of them were a bunch of crooks. My Uncle George sold his soul to him so he could be king forever. He was promised that by Roosevelt. Now then, the whole thing, I had, after I found out my real name and my kidnapping and why the horrible things were happening to me and my kids here, my sons, I started looking up some of the stuff, and recently, I've always, since I found out, knew that the Kennedys were part of it. What I didn't know was when I found out about a month ago, and I put this on prior videos, that not only Joe Kennedy was there as ambassador, he took his two sons with him, JFK and Joe Jr. Okay, during the time that I was born and kidnapped, JFK was flying in and out of there, and he was going before the House of Commons. I mean, it's like they took over the British Isles, is exactly what they did. And they used my own uncle to do it and to help take down my father, Edward VIII, a good man. That's why they had to take him down, and history would record a lie, a total lie. But anyway, I was watching a documentary on public broadcasting, Blue Ridge here, a few days